Oh, there's
turn
two over there.
3 cars in it. Kyle Busch got a small piece of Stanton Barrett after he crashed with Ryan Hemphill.
Caution is out.
36 got him, boys.
Let's remind you that the field is frozen at the
You can't see where he's going. His hood's up over his windshield.
Car that Mike Wallace won the victory last year. The Biagi brothers, number 4.
Ryan Hemphill, he's had some success in the ARCA series, but here today.
He got together with Stanton Barrett, and then Kyle Busch got just a piece of Barrett going by. Caution is out with 7 laps to go.
He's just basically gotten down on the inside and following the grass back to the pits. 36 car got a lot of damage. 5 car.
All the right front damage on Kyle Busch. The 5 car worked his way back on the lead lap after that caution right in the eye of the storm.
As you can see, a lot of movement back in here. Everybody's trying to jockey for positions.
Left of your screen, the number 4.
Looks like the Hemphill looks like he had a problem of some kind and drew the 36 car into him, actually.
Yeah, it looked like he had already started to get loose and probably had to roll out of the throttle. That was a hard lick into the outside wall.
Yes.
But we have safer barriers here.
Another look at it at speed. So now, Larry, do you stay out or do you come in?
Can you say your bed has been made, you have to lay in it? Especially for that 81 car.
No, can you say, I can't hear you?
Yeah, in fact, if I'm the 81 car, I've already packed my pit equipment up. No, there's no way here because we're only going to have a 4 or 5 lap shootout. It's a quickie caution.
You're doing a good job, boo. I want you to race me now. I'll try. I'm on a couple more laps here. We'll go at it. I can't get a damn run on you though. They're just pushing you away from me, so.
That's Martin Truex talking.
You know that boy behind you, he's probably going to go on the bottom, so you go to the top, make sure you know what you're doing. You don't lose a lot of position there.
Talking to
he ain't going outside, he's staying on the bottom, so I got to figure something out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The first and second place drivers conversing. Darrell, did you ever have a chance to talk to a teammate when you're out on track?
No, Junior, only teammate I ever had was basically Neil Bonnet, and last thing Junior wanted us to do was talking to each other.
Ryan Hemphill has climbed out of the number 4 and looks to be okay.
They had to qualify for this race. They not only qualified, they're up to the top of the chart.
Ryan Hemphill, the 23-year-old from Apollo, Pennsylvania, who started 32nd and finished 36th in his series debut last week, ended up in a crash coming off turn 2 at Daytona. He is in the show 31st with a lap of 40.29.
A hometown boy. I mean, he's only 15 minutes from his house. This is Bobby Hamilton, 2004 Craftsman Truck Champion. And Bobby, we've been seeing you at these Busch races a lot this year, and you've had a pretty strong run, man. Every time you go out, it seems like you got this 95 car up toward the front.
Yeah, I mean, Erlen Chick Sadler on this car, and everybody knows that name. I mean, people like Sterling, Mike Alexander, Davey Allison, a lot of people have drove for him. Danny Gill at the 46 truck, he went down there and just talked to me about drivers one day, and he said, what do you think about this one? I said, what are you doing? And he told me. I said, heck, I'll drive it a handful of races. So it's a pretty neat deal for me. It's being a Dodge, and I'm able to try some stuff I like to try on my truck and use it for a test session, so it's working out well.
Well, good luck.
Ryan Hemphill on the racetrack was supposed to have gone out 12th, but he was excused by NASCAR.
He was 38th and 44th in the 2 practice sessions yesterday. His first lap is only good for 21st quickest, but we talked about the 4 car a while ago owned by Fred Biagi. Was not in the top 30 in owner points after Atlanta, but was one of those teams that was able to move into the top 30 eligible teams because of the 87 and the 90 not running all the races.
And now let me ask you this, Larry. I've used that term, they've been excused. You know, you draw for your qualifying position. What would a situation be that would give NASCAR or give the team that right to qualify a little bit later? Give us an example.
Well, it could be an array of things. You know, the 2 most obvious is if you need to change engines or transmissions or something like that. which that's not the case with Ryan Hemphill. It could be the fact that you've got some sort of problem. You've got a carburetor problem. You've got a fuel cell problem. And I've been in a position where I just needed to make a lot of changes to the car, and I'd go to the competition director and say, look, I'm in a box. We're working as hard as we can. We're going to get out there as soon as we can. And normally, as long as you'll work with them, they'll work with you, as long as you don't abuse it. Now, Hammond always abused the situation, so that's a different story. California last Sunday, I think we are going to have an awesome race in Las Vegas next week. Good side-by-side racing.
Ryan Hemphill driving the Geico Dodge for the Biagi brothers in his first road course race appearance.
Yeah, I think the first time he had ever driven around a road course was yesterday when the track opened for practice. They built a brand new car for him, but didn't get to test it anywhere.
See, road racing always, the driver always said had never done it. So, boy, it looks like a lot of fun. And then he gets a chance to do it.
Pretty solid lap for him, though. 13th quickest.
Now he's locked into the show because of car owner points. Right now, the first driver who is out is Rusty Wallace, but that doesn't mean he's bumped out. He can be bumped into the show if one of the 24 drivers who has to make it on time qualifies slower than him. So we'll keep an eye on that, Matt.
A stellar lap
Saturday, I should say.
Just to follow up on what Casey Kane was talking about, coil bound, they're running these cars so soft in the front, and there's obviously space in between the coils of the spring, and you travel them so much that the coils go together, and it's like a solid spring when you go off in the corner.
And that will upset a race car as well as a driver's focus on the racetrack. If you watch Ryan Hemphill and the 4-car make a run here.
former go-kart racer out on the track now, the Geico Dodge.
He was only 45th quickest, and if you hear that car, I talked to these guys, and I think he's going to bring it in. I talked to these guys during practice. They were fighting a miss, and they had changed fuel cells, they changed carburetors, fuel line, and I do not think they have found the problem because it does not sound good at all.
Yeah, something still sounds amiss on the 4-car.
And once again, the problem is these cars will be impounded. They will get no more laps before the race on Saturday.
Well, they're trying to sort out their problem. Let's go down to the grid and Steve Burns.
And Jeremy Mayfield's fast in that 6-car. Matt, how about that race car? Do you feel comfortable, fast, or both?
Man, I feel real good with it. Our Hellman's mayonnaise Dodge was real good right off the truck, and the guys work good together, and the car's driving great. It's one of the cars we finally put our body on ourselves in-house there, and the guys done a great job on it. They've been working hard on it, I know, but it's paying off for us.
All right, thanks a lot, Jeremy. We appreciate it.
Like we mentioned before, Jeremy trying to make his first ever NASCAR Busch Series start here at Texas, and this team really had a great run last week on the Cup side. There you see Ray Evernham looking on. Now let's take a look here, Larry Mack, at the 4-car. We think something may have fallen off.
He's driving off into turn 3.
You can see it.
Yeah.
It looks like it looked like maybe one of the exhaust pipes.
Almost, but it was strange.
It was either one of the exhaust pipes, or it may have been. I don't think it was one of the exhaust pipes. It may have been one of the aluminum rocker skirts or something that's below the car. Let's look at it one more time. I'm not sure. We'll get a look at it here in a second because I'm sure NASCAR is going to send a safety crew out there to try to pick it up. Looked like some type of steel bar or something.
Larry, the axle came out of this thing. Go back and look right here. Get shot right in this area here. The axle is gone.
It sure is. The right rear axle. And all that holds that axle in there is a little old aluminum cap with 3 Allen bolts. And evidently they maybe didn't have the bolts tight on that cap. That cap came off, and I'm sure he had his hands full because as he was trying to slow down, only one wheel was pulling the left rear. That's exactly what it was.
He did a very good job of not wrecking that race car, because a lot of times when you lose that kind of feel, again, if you notice when these guys move away and the NASCAR official continue to stand in front of it where he can get a real good shot at it, but he lost the right rear axle out of that race car.
Sure did.
And while they sort that out, we're going to check out more here in Texas as Tony Stewart talks things over with his team. There's Elliott Sadler. And while away, problems big time for Ryan Hemphill. Last week, he dropped out of the top 30 in car owner points, meaning it's a go or go home day today for him.
You could just see as he was in the throttle off turn 2, the car just broke loose with him and just came around. But yeah, the worst news even yet will be he will go home. He will not make this show.
But Larry, watching the car out there, he is actually going in. It looked like he was about a half a car width too high through middle of 1 and 2, which was going to make his exit even more of a higher than what it would normally be. And he got up there in that little bit of gray stuff, and around the back end came around right on him, right there.
Looked like he was maybe about a half a lane too high
about
or
half
so.
a lane.
Now that will be good news for Scott Gaylord in the 7 car, because this will bump him into the show. You're already well in the throttle back there, and you'll see the wheels cut to the right there. He knew he was loose and was just trying to save it, but it was too far gone.
Too far gone. And again, if you listen to the sound, he was trying to save it, but all of a sudden he hit the wall with quite a lick.
The 41st place finish last week at Texas carries over here. Bad luck for Ryan Hemphill. He will go home. Dick?
Wisconsin driver Paul Bedard.
Hey guys, so that was Ryan Hemphill in the number 4 Biagi Brothers Dodge in 2005 to open up the season, or the first quarter of the season. For those who don't know, Ryan ran ARCA in 2004. He was a Chip Ganassi development driver. He won some races in ARCA in 2004. It was really quick, and Ganassi worked out a deal with the Biagi Brothers team, who were running Fords in 2004, switched to Dodge, and be basically a kind of a vessel to bring his talent into NASCAR and to get them some seat time, stuff like that. And so it didn't work out. They ended up replacing Ryan with Jeff Green in several races, then with Kevin Hamlin, who was a Ganassi development driver as well. And then later on, 2006, Augie Vidovich ran some races with them. And then they ended up folding not long thereafter, left the sport, and then Fred Biagi came back in, I believe, 2011 and partnered with, you're going to have to forgive me, I can't pronounce the guy's last name, but the 98 car, Ford that ran, had the pretty cool Carroll Shelby paint schemes on it. Casey Mears drove it, and I believe Reed Sorensen did as well. And so I read an article once from Ryan. I haven't been able to find it since. I've looked all over. This was several years ago, where Ryan was talking about the reason he ended up not performing well was because the team wasn't very good. Okay, and then so, he was a new driver, as a rookie driver, coming into NASCAR, had never run any NASCAR races before, and it just didn't work out because they were expecting him to run up front. This is Ryan's words. And when that didn't happen, they ended up letting him go. Now, from an outsider's perspective, I can see that point being somewhat true, but I could also see where, given Ryan's performance in ARCA, he was expecting to be put with a top shelf Dodge team in the Xfinity or the Busch Series. Busch Series is what it was. So, and maybe that created a rift there, and that's why it didn't work out. Who knows? We'll probably never know the actual truth of what happened behind closed doors. But the fact of the matter is, he started missing races. They replaced him with Jeff Green. The car ran exponentially better with Jeff driving it. I know at Richmond, Jeff finished 6th in the car, and so it was just whatever it was that was causing a rift there, why it wasn't working out. It just didn't work out. And but the Biagi Brothers team, they won at Daytona in 2004 with Mike Wallace. Mike Wallace had driven their car basically since their inception. I think he may have actually driven it when they started. I believe the Biagi Brothers team started in 2001. Don't quote me on that. It may have been 2000. But nevertheless, he won in 2004 at Daytona, the race where Jason Leffler decided to wreck everyone on the last lap to win the race. Turned Michael Waltrip off of turn 2 on the last lap. That stalled his momentum going into 3 and 4. Dale Jr. went to go around him on the outside, and Jason just opened up the wheel and put Dale Jr. in the wall. And it just cleared a path for Mike, who was running 3rd at the time, to just shoot past everybody and win the race. So, and then he almost won at Chicagoland, the race that Justin Labonte won. Excuse me, ran out of fuel with Mike Wallace. Mike Wallace had driven their car basically since their inception. I think he may have actually driven it when they started. I believe The Biagi brothers team started in 2001. Don't quote me on that. It may have been 2000. But nevertheless, he won in 2004 at Daytona, the race where Jason Leffler decided to wreck everyone on the last lap to win the race. Turned Michael Waltrip off of turn 2 on the last lap. That stalled his momentum going into 3 and 4. Dale Jr. went to go around him on the outside, and Jason just opened up the wheel and put Dale Jr. in the wall. And it just cleared a path for Mike, who was running third at the time, to just shoot past everybody and win the race. So, and then he almost won at Chicagoland, the race that Justin Labonte won. Excuse me, he ran out of fuel. I think coming to take the white, and Justin ended up winning. But as far as on merits, because the way that race worked out too, it was a fuel mileage race, and so that's how Justin and Mike ended up being up front. But as far as on just pure speed, that car never actually outran the field. It both wins were, it kind of backed into him. And that's not taking anything away from that. You have to put yourself in a position for that to happen. So, more power to him. But if they were, in fact, expecting Ryan to come in there and work miracles with a mid-pack team, that was wrong on Chip's part. Kevin Hamlin didn't run much better than Ryan did, although he did run a little bit better. And Augie Vidovich was, nothing personal against Augie at all, but that was a disaster. But Jeff Green ran really good in that car at the few races that he ran. But that's it. Back to our bad combination videos. I will do more like this moving forward and kind of explain. I know on some of the other videos that we've done, a lot of stuff was just left open and it didn't really explain some of the finer details. So I'll start doing this more often once we make these videos. Just adding a little clip on the end to explain things. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, share the video, the works. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. We're going to, when we get 2,000 subscribers, we're going to do a massive giveaway. I had previously stated that once we got to that point, we would do, we'd pick 2 random people. I think we're going to pick a whole bunch of people. We have so much stuff to give away. I want to show our appreciation in kind of a bigger way than just 2 people. So we're going to give a bunch of stuff away to a bunch of different people. So tell your friends, share, like, subscribe, everything we can to make this channel grow. I appreciate you guys and gals. Y'all are awesome. Like I said, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. God bless. Peace.